Walking is contagious and it's advantageous, ha 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 ha. I changed that just a little bit, but I play that over and over again in my mind to remind myself how important it is, not only for me to walk, and it's beneficial to me, but how important it is for me to do that so that other people will see that and hopefully want to do it too. I think Frank Lloyd Wright had it right. People who are walking down the road, skipping along, are usually sidewalk happy, not sidewalk angry, not sidewalk freaked out because they're about to lose their life. And I really want to find that in every single sidewalk in our communities. Now, some cities have crosswalks, and some cities have cross, skipped, and jumps over, as you can see here. So it's not always easy to convince people to get out and walk their community. Not everybody thinks walking is a great idea, and you can't blame them. If you were this mother pushing your child along the sidewalk here, and you had to get off into the road because we'd given up 12 feet of room for parking lane, you may not think walking is such a great idea. It's always this constant tug-of-war, too. It seems like this is like car versus walker or pedestrian environment. You can see the first comment on this post on the City of Oklahoma City's webpage, where they're talking about becoming more bike-friendly. The first person says, really? How about becoming more car-friendly? Who here thinks Oklahoma City is not car-friendly? So I don't understand. But it's not actually complicated to do. You can see here, example on the right, city on the right, we've got developers making room for pedestrians, just putting a fence there. And on the left, we had actually taken up the sidewalk. It's not a new idea. This is actually from downtown Oklahoma City, building a skyscraper here. We actually made room for the pedestrians as they're walking down the road. It's not a novel or original idea, but it's one that's seemingly getting abandoned over and over again. And then sometimes we really miss the mark. We forget we have feet. It's almost like we choose to pretend that we're not going to use them. And so we put bus stops like 10 feet away from the sidewalk. You've got to run through the mud, jump over the hedge, and then wait for a bus for an hour. I don't understand. And then, we'll also see things like this where we have a limited amount of sidewalk space, but then it's just kind of voluntarily given up so that a motorist can drive down the road and know that there might be a danger coming up. Now, no motorist wants to drive around that sign, but realistically, no pedestrian wants to have to walk around it either. So there's this constant conflict and tension. If one of these holes was in a road somewhere, we'd have fire, police, street workers, we'd have tweets warning us, be careful, your car is going to get hurt, and it'd make the traffic report, no doubt. But the root of the issue is more than just broken sidewalks or not having good pedestrian access along developments. The root of the issue comes back to the difference between accessibility and walkability. And this is a great picture that shows you an example of what the difference looks like. This is a truly accessible intersection, but it's not a walkable space. Nobody's going to enjoy this space, nobody's going to come to it, nobody's going to linger here. You pretty much feel like you're cattle running through there. Close your eyes real quickly, and I want you to imagine any place in the city I want you to imagine the place between the curb cut and the building. And I want you to pour concrete there, add trees and patio seating. And what you probably imagine is someplace just like this. You can open your eyes. It's not hard to imagine it, right? Nobody has to go to school to understand and recognize what a walkable space is. Look how much concrete there is. This sidewalk. It's like Northwest Expressway for pedestrians. There's no way that you would not feel comfortable in that space. And how come every building that we love, just as a side thought, starts with 1902? I don't know. But all our cities are wonderful places. And they really are illustrations of who we are as a people, as a culture, society. And if we choose to walk in our neighborhoods and our communities more often, we, in a way, make friends with our city. I know that sounds crazy, but that's okay. I've got obsessive compulsive walking disorder. I'm allowed to say crazy things. But we really learn a lot from our communities and about who we are. And that's an important thing to do. Quick thing, I'd be remiss if I didn't tell you that in 15 seconds or less, you can make a difference. Report those violations or report those problems as you're walking down the road. It takes just a second to email the Action Center. They actually are really good. You saw that one picture with the cones. They're really good about getting out there and at least marking them and getting them fixed. You've heard the saying, no strings attached. Well, unfortunately, our cities come with buildings, sidewalks, streets attached. They're a social contract that's been passed on to us generation after generation. We don't really have a choice about this. And in fact, we're going to pass it on to the next generation. So the question is, what's that contract going to look like? What are you passing on to our kids? And I hope that as we consider the choice of whether or not to walk or not walk, that we're recognizing that difference. And I hope that you will walk more, and knowing that you will walk more, you'll encourage other people to walk more. And it's no laughing matter. It's a serious deal. We can improve our cities by just getting out and walking, and I promise you that. So thanks so much for listening.